Hey everyone, Joe here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by today. And this is a continuation of the series that I've been doing doing a little bit of explaining about how I decorated each of the rooms before the home tour. Because once I do the home tour, that will be basically to music, and I really won't be doing much talking during that. So if you missed when I was doing parts of the room, this might explain some stuff. Now, of course, I have shown pieces of this room before. I showed how I did the windows, and I also showed how I did the mantle, I believe, and even the table that enters into the room. But I don't think I gave you a full view of how the room actually looked. So once again, this is going to be a little bit of talking, and I know sometimes people don't want to hear talking. So if that's not for you, then don't get upset, and I don't want you to get upset, because sometimes that happens. We expect something that's not to be happening. So anyway, I used in the family room. You can see the family room from the foyer. So now, if you caught my foyer, you know that it's very much involved in Christmas. It's Santa Land, and it has a lot of stuff going on in there, and it's very whimsical. So I needed to kind of create a transition space between the foyer, because it's opened up into the family room. Because I wanted the family room to be more of a calming area. That's where we, entertain. It's opened up into the kitchen, and I didn't want it to feel as overwhelming as it could. Like, sometimes I'll make that room overwhelming too, and it's just too much. This year, I actually decided not to put a tree in the family room. There isn't one per se. At one time, I think I had 3 trees in the family room. There are a couple of very pencil thin trees that are that I have flanking the entrance into the library, which I'll show you that tomorrow. But they're not our typical Christmas tree that we would have. I thought I would spend more time on the mantle area and the window area and accessories in the room to make a Christmas feel without having to put a Christmas tree. Now, I know that sounds odd from me, the person who puts up so many Christmas trees and whatnot, but I just felt that it really wasn't necessary. And just because there's a tree in the room doesn't mean that it's Christmas. And just because there's not a tree in the room doesn't mean that it's not Christmas, because you can make that area feel very festive without having a tree. Now, I know a lot of people don't have a lot of room, and they have, small spaces, and yet they want to feel the spirit of Christmas and, the look of Christmas. So you can do it on other things. You don't have to do that. We had a friend was here yesterday, and she lives in a studio apartment. But she tries to make it as festive as possible, and she always wants to show us her pictures, because she goes crazy when she comes here. I should have videoed her, because she was taking pictures like crazy in front of everything and on the stairway and stuff. And she's very cute when she does that. But she wants to show us how she decorates her one room that she has. And she does put up a tree, but it's not a big tree, but she makes it feel festive. So this is an example of that, just through different pillows and throws and whatnot that you might have or purchase, you can make the room feel very Christmassy. Now, I wrote this down because I couldn't remember. I wanted to make sure that I got this across, and I'm going to try to read it, because I don't have a teleprompter in front of me. But I wanted our family room to feel like a warm, inviting escape for the season, because it gets chilly. It's cold here now, right? Blending coziness of a lodge with the touches of Ralph Lauren. Now, I know that always sets some people off, because Ralph Lauren has a very, very particular style. It goes beyond the plaid, but that always makes people think. If you know Ralph Lauren, it makes you think when you see a lot of different kinds of plaids mixed together, it makes you think that that's Ralph Lauren inspired, plus the natural touches. So I wanted our family room to feel like a warm, inviting escape for the season, blending coziness of a lodge with touches of Ralph Lauren, traditional elements like woods, warm textures and patterns, plaids, rustic touches, and vintage charm. I wanted it to feel like wrapping yourself in a favorite blanket on a chilly night, warm, familiar, and cozy. So that's what I was trying to achieve in there. So let's take a look at the room, and you let me know in the comments if you think I achieved that. I'm always interested, and I always read all of your comments. So thanks so much. So let's get to the video. I needed a transition from the Santaland foyer into this more calming area. So what I had to do was I kind of decided to do a semi-whimsical piece on the sofa table in order to transition from the foyer, because when you're in the foyer you can see into the family room, and I didn't want to abruptly change the thought process. So I added the sofa table behind the couch here, and what I did was I decided to incorporate snowmen here to ease that transition, so to speak. So you can see up on the top, I kept it relatively simple using a snowman cookie jar and some snow and lights. And underneath, I used a bunch of happy snowmen. I was going for a cozy kind of a look, and I really like the red for Christmas. It just says Christmas to me, and we have a few red pillows and some of the buffalo plaid with the believe and so on. And I wanted to incorporate those onto the couch, as well as some throws. I wanted it to have a very loosely inspired Ralph Lauren look. I know Ralph Lauren look is way more layered and plaid tartan than I have going on here, but in this it pays a little bit of homage to him, a little bit that idea of the that lodgy kind of a look, and wherever I could, I incorporated plaid. I didn't care if it was the same kind of plaid. I didn't care if it was a different color plaid. It all worked together somehow, some way. Even on this Santa that's on the wall, if you take a look at his coat, he has a plaid coat on, so it all goes somehow. I changed out the picture on the wall to this wooden picture. I thought, again, it had that natural feel because it was wood. I took a swag and I incorporated the colors of the room and put it on top of that picture. Here is one of the throws. This throw is so unbelievably soft. It's great. And then right next to it, I have a different plaid. And on that two-tiered tray, there is yet another kind of plaid. So, don't be afraid to mix those plaids together. It just somehow goes. It doesn't feel like dizzying or anything like that. On this wall unit, which used to be an old entertainment center, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep it because I have plans for this wall, but it's a great place for display. And once again, I try to incorporate that natural feeling using a lot of greenery and a lot of berries and the real antlers and so on. And the Santas up there are in velvets, and there's pine cones and berries and whatnot. And then on the shelves, I used those to display some of the things that we've had for a long time, some cookie jars and some other additional little things here and there. Now, I wrapped the books in wrapping paper because I couldn't stand the way they looked. They just didn't go with everything. That bowl just has lights in it. That's a hit. Everybody loves that bowl. And I kept it kind of simple so that I can still dust and clean and whatnot, yet there's a lot of stuff. And I even paid attention to the handles on the doors. Now, this is my favorite part of the room, the windows and the mantle. I really liked the way it came out. I was so unsure this year when I was doing it, and as I was doing it, I felt it, that it was coming out the way I wanted. This horse is an antique horse, and it even has that tartan plaid on it as well. Around the windows, this is a lot of layering, one thing at a time, but it gives you time to think about how you're going to do. This was the first thing I did in the room. So it gave me time to think about how I was going to approach the rest of the room with the ribbons and the colors and whatnot. See those antlers up there? And, and then even down here, I wanted to show you, rather than just abruptly end, you can make it look like it's spilling out onto the floor using extra garland and ornaments. Take a look at the swag on the mantle. I really like it. I think I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I think it came out really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. A lot of times I'll do something and I'm just not happy with it, and I really want to take it apart, and I try my best not to take it apart because I did so much work. But this one I think came out just right, just enough ornaments, a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of that plaid, and a lot of that cozy feeling that I was going for. So that goes across the whole back of that room, and I have that screensaver on right now. It just adds to the whole ambiance of everything. And then in this corner, even here, I try not to, miss anything. I put some white branches for that natural feel. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed my little look behind the scenes of the family room. Take care. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.